introduce myself. How you doing? My name is
You
Greg.
gonna skip him?
Oh, no, we put a same.
Oh, okay,
same
cool.
yeah.
Okay, good.
My name is Greg. We're from a podcast
Okay.
called L.A.N Party. So my question is, in your recent album Lovers Rock, did you see any bit of, or did you feel like there was any bit of Ruby and Sapphire in any of your songs? Like, I understand it's dedicated to like your mother and father.
Oh yeah, there's nothing to do with either.
Oh.
It's two separate whole entities. I started as a singer 20 years ago. As me as a person, though, I would say, I mean, you could look at it to a degree because I feel like the way that they write the characters are based on human emotion. You know, so if you wanted to relate it like that, sure, all over it. You know, people get angry, people are cool. You know, there's happy times and there's like, I don't want to know times, you know, in every scenario. And this one being about a relationship. You know, if I was to look at it though, I could call my mom Ruby and my dad Sapphire, in the sense of like my dad's very cool and my mom's quite like Ruby. And that's probably why they're a good match.
Jay from Power 945 Internet Radio.
Hi, Jay.
Hi. I was just wanted to ask if you look back over your career, started to where you are now, how you have noticed that blurred culture has.
Oh my days. Well, I've been doing this like concentratedly for 6 years, and I think it's been it's been an amazing climb, but it's been like sharp, been like it's just gone through the sky, and I love it because it's like I don't walk into a room anymore and it's just me. You know, I don't walk into like conventions, and I don't walk into do animation events, and it's just me. You know, as a Black woman in animation. And not say it was ever just me, because obviously there's like True, there's Cree Summer, there's other people who've done, and there's so many other Black artists and voiceover artists and actors and actresses. But oftentimes when I would walk in like 5-6 years ago, it was just me, you know. So like now it's just like, oh, there's all of us. We're here. Hi guys. You know, you see people routinely, and it's dope as hell to me. I feel like inclusion is the way. It's always been the way. You know, I'm just happy we're here.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Najir, and I'm representing Team JVS. And I really got a really complex question. So, upon you being announced for Blerdcon, I mean, me and all my friends, we geeked out. We were super excited, big Steven Universe's fans and so forth. And upon trying to request for you, we know that your time is going to be limited. And in our, in other cons, we usually, when we hear that, we know like, oh, we're not going to get to talk to her. But you did make sacrifices. We all collectively got here together, and we're all going to be able to ask questions. And I thought that was really special. So I wanted to thank you for, being able to, your sacrifices and so forth for that. My question is, with people like Holly Berry, who's recently spoke out about having to talk to her brothers and sisters, where her PR person said, we don't have time. She said, no, I got to talk to my brothers and sisters. We're obviously here for Blerdcon, which is an amazing movement that's going on in this area. And also, Kira Kelly is another person who's saying Black Hollywood is failing the Black press. I want to know for you, at least your comments at least, what does it mean to be able to sit here and we're all collectively here for you and the sacrifices you made to make sure you was able to do it?
I've never not done it. So, I never not do it as a statement. I never not did it. Like I've always done Black press. Like I don't understand. Like you're pointing it out, and I'm just like, yes, it's a regular day for me. I don't like. Yeah. Is there a problem? What should I not do it? I get and I understand that side of it because I've had press officers in the past be like, we don't do that, and I was like, well, why not? Sure, I'm Black. What do you mean I don't do that? Like, what does that mean? Yeah. It's what I grew up listening to. This is why it's here. I don't understand. So like, for me, it's never been about like I don't do that or I don't do this. I do the press. I talk to people who talk to me. I answer the questions that are sensible, and I keep it flat across the board because to me, it's about the questions. It's about what you're talking about. It's about who you're engaging. End of the day, I'm Black. This is my culture. This is who I am. I don't care where you think I'm from. To me, it's more about the challenge has been you're from London, you don't relate. Meanwhile, all we do is absorb American culture. Like Black American culture is our thing. Like, so, I'm geeking out about Rachel True and Cree Summer the same way you are because I grew up on them as much as I was in the industry, right? So to me, it's like, I don't see the difference. I don't get it. Like, I think it's beautiful that those statements are being made now. Yes, bigger artists should say that and should point that out because you will have press officers that will say, you don't need to do the Black. It's not going to get you. But at the end of the day, Black is cool. Black makes it cool. I don't care. Like we do. It is what it is, right? So yeah, I've always done it. I never see the difference.
I really appreciate it. It's very valid. You get there on time, you authenticate, and you give all your credentials, you wait in line. And then it's your turn. They're like, hey, we don't have much time. Can y'all group together? Then you group together, and they're like, hey, we don't have no time.
Well, I'm here. So
we appreciate it.
I appreciate you coming. Thank you.
Timothy Craig Abts, WERA 96.7 FM, The Swick Show. Thank you so much for coming to DC. Awesome. So Cartoon Network and Dove, they partnered together to do the self-esteem movement that'll bring about awareness. And they chose Steven Universe as the vehicle to talk about something that's really, really a very important issue, especially with our youth today. So the question for you is, what makes Steven Universe the vehicle to be palatable to talk about something as important as self-esteem?
Have you watched it? No, it's incredible. Like, look, Rebecca and them surprise me every time because I'll get my script and I try not to read it till I get into the room, and then it'll be something that I was going through that week. Like, she's so genius about the way she writes about human emotion, and for some reason she just knows us all really well without really knowing us really, really well. Right. And she manages to have the right words, and her team are great too. I think they just do a great job of it. And Dove was smart enough to spot that, and give them freedom to do what they needed to do in the way they do it. It's good. I think it's great. I think they hit on something super early, and I think a lot more brands will follow. Hello.
Hi. I'm Marcus from the Great Geek Refuge.
The L T-shirt.
Thank you. When you first got into voice work for Steven Universe, did you ever imagine that the role that you took on would be as impactful to both children and adults alike as the character has been over in the recent years?
I had no clue. I really took this role. I really asked for this role. I prayed for a role, and then I got it. And I asked for the role, and I was like, what's it about? And they were like, well, you're kind of like the big sister. Mother took these gems. And I was like, I can relate. I'm not a mom. I have loads of brothers and sisters. And I was like, yeah, and then my selfish part of it was I wanted to do something that I knew my nieces and nephews would, they're overseas. So and they literally like the first time my niece heard my voice for real, other than like being a baby, was like on Steven Universe. She was like, that's Auntie Stell. That's Auntie Stell. And I was like, oh my God. This is the plan. It's happening, guys. She knows my voice. Because I think it's important to be in your family's life no matter where you are. And I knew that I was not physically be there. And it sounds crazy, but you have to think of things like that when you don't live home, right? And that was my selfish reason for doing it. But the effect on adults and kids, that's been humbling. It's been a beautiful thing. Something I'm super grateful to be a part of. People come up to me at the cons and they're like, I wish we had this when we were kids. And I'm like, you have it now. Today is what you have, so roll with it. Like, yeah, this is true. So I'm grateful. This is a good thing.
Great. Thank you.
Good hair.
Thank you.
No worries.
Thank you very much. My question is, as an artist in the entertainment industry, what has your journey been like? How is it working in two different industries, and what was the translation like?
Cool. In music, it's been something I've loved and done my entire life. Doing voiceover work was a challenge. I just went into it. I was like, all right, cool, it's fine. I just got to say things, right? My vocal coach was like, nah, bro, what are you doing? I was like, I'm just saying words, it's fine. He's like, no. It's like being in a submarine, rocket ship. Your voice. And I was like, what does that mean? I don't feel like a rocket ship or a submarine. Like, so let me tell you what happens to your vocal cords. So that was it's been an interesting ride. I've never been a sick person or nothing, but I've had a few vocal issues I've had to like pay attention to. Fun, because I'm not an underachiever, I'm not a failure. So times when you can't speak, you're like, what is happening? So that's been like the only thing is like learning to take care of myself better. In a space where I'm just used to go. Like, you sing, go. You rap, go. You do this, go. Sometimes it's like, I can't speak today. and it gets a little weird and things move around a little bit. So that's been, like I said, I'm ready to go. I'm used to working. That was strange. Other than that, it's been pretty fun. I've learned that there's like 1,000 ways to make sounds that I never knew there was. Mm-hmm. Can be done in 50 ways. Can be done in 50 ways. And they're all slightly different. And they'll want that same one that you did at like 0.35 when you're like at 0.44 and you're like, I don't know what that was. And you have to go listen to it and replicate it. It's things like that you realize how powerful the physical human body and your memory and your and everything is. You're like, oh, this is crazy. I recalled that. This is another superpower, But it's been fun. It's been cool. And meeting a whole new range, whole new audience. Meeting a whole new audience. That's still ringtone. Meeting a whole new audience via voice acting has been dope. People that like I know you from Steven Universe, and there's people that like I know you. My mom knows you from American Boy and your songs. Yeah. And nowadays she knows you from Steven Universe, and we all love you in our house. And I'm just like, this is great, guys. It's really cool because you get to relate to different eras, and I don't have to change per se my music. I can still stay 100% with my music and what I do, and also do Steven Universe, and people love all of it. I'm allowed to be me. But a lot of people aren't allowed that. They have to like do younger music to like to translate themselves. I don't have to. I can just do me, which is a blessing, super blessing.
Looking back over your career, getting started, who were the biggest people to impact you?
Overall,
from music to then into voice work.
I work backwards. Cree Summer for voice work. She's the queen. Like, good Lord. Like, she has so many voices. Like, you see the picture of her, like, on Instagram or the tweets, and there's, like, 50 different characters she's played, and you're just like, well, girl, how? Show me your ways. She's incredible. And then she's an actress on top of that, so that's amazing to me. It's like, it shows you can be in so many different disciplines, but also be, still be cool. And then the way she lives her life. Very much just like a mom and a regular, but she's an artist. I think it's dope. Then music. Oh, it's everyone from Missy Elliott to Ella Fitzgerald, Dennis Brown, Busta Rhymes, to like, I like Black right now. I think he's dope. He's one of the most amazing rappers to me out there. He's really, really dope. And then there's the Turn Up Kings. Like, some days Migos, Rich Homie, Rich Homie Quan. It's like, I like everything that's hype. I just not hype. I like good records, I like good songs. And I'm inspired by everything and everyone to a degree. I'll pull it apart in my head and take the bits that work for me and leave some of the bits that don't. And sometimes it's just tipsy day and I'm having fun, And there'll be something from that I take. But then there's like my standards, which are like Ella and Mary and Missy and, and Faith Evans and church music, Like, so I say church music because it's across the board. I grew up in church. So yeah, it's all of that. Yeah.
This is Samuel with Team JVS Outlet.
Hi, Samuel.
Hey, Estelle.
First t-shirt.
Thank you. I got the shades right there.
Oh, okay. You ready?
I just first want to personally thank you for your presence on Steven Universe. I think unanimously all of us can that way. You are one of my wife and my favorite character and performances. And our son, like, his name is David. We kind of call him our fusion, like legit. And so, like, yeah, he legit is.
Yeah, he actually is.
But my question goes through, I guess it's a good segue. Throughout your time working with Steven Universe from day to day, in terms of your performances, from day one, even until the movie that's about to come out really soon, I was curious, what's your most challenging moment or scene on the show and why?
Oh, well, there was one where like they had, so Garnet isn't a very, she's not emotive at all. And so there are days when I can literally roll out of bed and go do this character, and I don't actually have to like nothing. I can just nothing, like per se, right? Because her delivery is very flat. It's quite like me a lot. This is what it is. But then there was a time when they were like, we need her to show emotion. And I walk into the set, I walk into the recording, and it was like, I think it's the one where it was the one where she couldn't quite see the future, even had to choose, right? And so Rebecca was like, okay, I need you to like, she's like, I need you to show some emotion in your voice. And I was like, girl, what? I was like, after all these years of no emotion, you want me to walk in today and just give emotion? I needed to have a heads up. She's like, we send you the script. I was like, but you know what? I don't read them. So I walk in and I was just like, oh, girl. I was like, all right. So I had to find the switch for all of this emotion for Garnet. And it was just like the hardest thing. Because like I said, it's like a submarine in a rocket ship. And I had to find, well, maybe like an airplane. Not a rocket ship, but like an airplane for her, like vocally. Like if I'm regularly in a submarine with Garnet as a vocal, right, as a reference, I had to find like an airplane for her, not quite a rocket ship, right? So I was like, yeah, what airline are we on? Is this Delta, American? How does this work? Like, are we on the Air Italia? What's going on? Is this Unite? I don't know what's going on. And I was trying to find the right emotion the entire recording. Yeah. I had to come back and do like 2 or 3 more cuts because it was just like such a head shock. It's such a switch in your brain. I was just like, okay, well, you have to be nicer here, and and every single line is a different emotion. But with singing, every single line has to punch you in the face, right? That's how you feel whatever you're doing. How people feel your record. So normally you just sing and you're like, I sing how I feel in this moment of this line. Well, you're reading somebody else's line and they're giving you the emotion to feel. So you have to do that. Boy, it was the hardest thing. It was hard because I was like, I'm trying to find the emotion that I would normally feel, but you're telling me to feel another emotion. Oh goodness. So it was it was the brain fog of life. But that probably was one of the hardest times. And that's been it. After I got that one out the way, anytime they need me to switch, I'm ready. Straight to Delta Airlines. Straight to whoever. Straight to KLM. I don't know. Straight to whatever. Yeah.
No, that was actually one of my favorite.
Thank you.
Because you could feel the vulnerability there.
Yeah.
And she loves Steven so much.
Yes.
But it was like, there's nothing she could do to protect him. But every father, every mother feels that. So really appreciate that from this. Hopefully we get a moment like that.
He tried, guys. He tried. Boy, hold on. This apple juice is great.
Well,
he tried, man. He tried.
If there was tea, we might have been on. She said tea after the question. We might got some.
Just correct me if I'm wrong. You have Caribbean roots, right? Good, because that's where this question comes from. Yeah. All right. So as a Caribbean American, we inherit certain teachings from our families. And mine was my grandmother. She would always tell me every time I'm singing any type of soca or calypso, study your books. Right? So my question to you is, being that you landed into entertainment, which probably wasn't something your parents have seen into your future, what was the lessons that they tried to instill into you that you grew into, but then you found your own way through entertainment?
My dad was a drummer. Well, he's a musician. So, and that's how they met. He was in a band when they met. So my mom was half and half with it. Other than the fact that she was kind of like, I'll never like. She had a whole background where she was stopped from doing what she wanted to do as a kid. So she was never like, I'll stop doing this or don't do that. But she was always like, like, do what you want to do, just have a backup. That was her thing. When you was in school, study your books and get that done, though. Absolutely. But she never stopped us. She never stopped me. I never wanted to. For the first 5 years, it was like, I want to be a lawyer. No, I want to be this. No, I went to study law to a degree. I went to an internship as a law office. That was my studying of law. Fun. And it was really boring. I said, I can't do this. I was 15. I was like, oh, this is never going to work. And after that, I just decided to do music. But I studied journalism. I I went to work as I studied media and journalism and photography. I went to work at a production company and I was a runner, and we did animation in one of its earliest spaces. So like real life rendering and like, all how it really works. And so I was a runner at a production company, and then I got fired from that kind of. I say kind of because she was like, so look. So my main boss, and who I'm still really cool with to this day, right, was like, you're like, he's my friend kind of, and it's weird. He was like really cool with me. I feel like he understood it. He just had loads of money and wanted to start this business and then employed business people to run it. So they came and were like, so look, you're late every day. Because I used to go do my job and then I would go do music, right? And I don't really feel like you want to be here. I was like, I do, but also I want to be there. And so she was like to me, look, you're young enough, get it done. Go do your music. And it's kind of in the same thing. I had the backup of being able to do that. And I feel like sometimes life pushes you out when you're not ready, out of scenarios when you're not ready, even just because it's time in the universal space for you to do what you're supposed to do. So it was the right time for me to go. I was definitely like, oh shit, what am I gonna do? It's my language. My mom's gonna kill me. And for like a year, she definitely was on my behind. Like, what are you doing? Like, I moved out home, was definitely homeless for a minute. It was all kinds of stuff. But yeah, she definitely is instilled in us have a backup. And to that point, I've always had a backup or something that is, a second wave, with whatever I'm doing. Or I learned the business really well, I think. So I wouldn't ever be completely asked out, essentially. That was our thing, yeah. Go read your books. Thank you.
So when you think about places where you've felt the most at home, felt like you could be totally yourself, the weird parts, not so weird parts, the nerdy parts, where have those places been and how have those helped to kind of shape how you move about the world?
I just try and be myself at all times. I try. I think I want to say I hit a point about 4 or 5 years ago, where I was like, definitely out here living somebody else's viewpoints and dreams. Because you, with music and traveling about the world, you end up, in order just to move forward or just to like get beyond some things, you kind of sit yourself down sometimes. And so I've been hitting in the past 5 years, I've been just slowly becoming and taking every chance I get emotionally, and every time I remember, every time it's brought to my attention, to just be myself, right? And it's been fun and interesting, right? Because there's sometimes I'm like, oh, that's special. Oh, fuck it, it's me. And someone told me it's being okay with that. It's like the shadow work, like being okay with those parts that are weird to everyone else and still standing in it and smiling in it and being like, yeah, that's what I do. Yeah. Whether it's being quiet, whether it's perceived in any kind of way, still just being okay with it. Doing Steven Universe has been one of the places. I get to be that on stage at all times. It's like a clear expression. Like I'm allowed to have a clear expression on stage. And I allow myself to have it more and more off stage, and then coming to conventions, and there's no way you can come to conventions and put on an act. Like people walk up to you with real emotion and whatever they're there for, whether they're paying to see you in line, whether they're just, hi, it's a clear, real emotion. And then there are some people who put on a whole act and you're just like, what are you doing? Like, hey, it's okay. It's not one of them places you don't have to do that, and I'm that person. What are you doing? Stop it. But there's I think these places force you to be yourself. Not like in a bad way, forced, but like there's no reason to be anything else.
So as a creative, there's always an evolution from when you begin to wherever you are in life. So I'm curious, how has your creative process as a songwriter and overall song construction changed from when you started to Steven Universe to now?
When I started, I was very much, how would I say it? When I started, I used to be on complete vibe, right? And I would say that much as I listened to so much music, I wasn't very daring. I was very focused about, and literally very focused about being like the harmony queen. So my records would have like 70 tracks of harmonies for no reason. It's mad harmonies. And everything to blend and sound beautiful. And then I worked with, on Shine, I worked with John Legend. It was very much about the single voice. It's like your voice is very much, is a real distinctive sound. What are you hiding it for? This is the basis of all of our conversations. What are you hiding? Like, what are you hiding your voice for? What are you hiding this energy? What are you doing? Just sing, do it with one voice. And I was like, what? You mean take away these harmonies? He's like, your melodies are great. Stop hiding your melodies, essentially, you know? And I'd be like, okay, well, let's try something, you know? And I still believe in the power of harmonies, but I'm also a believer in the power of a single voice. So I like to strip away people's voices, my voices, and just get to the core, right? And that's on music, without the layers, without the stuff, without things. So that's been my evolving. And I've kind of come back to it with an added thing now. I like to freestyle a lot. Like, I was always in awe of Jay-Z and Biggie. Like, how do you just write things in thin air? This is crazy. This is amazing. And then you don't realize it's literally what you're doing when you sit down with a pen and a pad. So why not just record it, right? Instead. And then like the vocal booth is your pen and your pad, right? So, or the mic. And so like I started doing that more recently, and especially for like dance records and the more up-tempo records where it's like a stream of thought. And I'll go in and I'll freestyle the melody and see what words come out and then write, color in the lines, essentially. And that's what I've been doing. And it's been fun. It's been an interesting journny. Some of the words and the things that you come out with, the sounds you come out with, because now I do sounds. Because it's Steven Universe. Like it's another thing in your memory bank as far as like recording, right? The microphone is your voice. Now I'm like freestyling, I'll come out with sounds and stuff instead, and it's just like, oh, this is cool. And we have new songs, you know?
Thank you.
Kind of cool. Thank you. Oh, well. Zanku? Well, you come over to our booth. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna play this part, man. You know what I mean?
All right, I was ready.
Oh, shit. No. Come on to the booth. All right. Well, thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
The questions were good. Take my tea. Hold on.